I think that most guys I know, most guys I've ever met in my life, would never want to date me. I know that they feel this way. I can just sense it. I think that most guys I know are like, Fiona's cool, would never want to date her. I'm pretty hungover, but I'm going to explain with my one brain cell. Men often have opinions or say things that really don't make a lot of sense about politics, psychology, social culture, feminism. I often find myself disagreeing with men, and I simply cannot let them think that they're right. So I want to debate, I want to argue, I want to prove you wrong. And I bring sometimes an aggressiveness to my debate style. No, you know what it is? It's a confidence to my debate style. I know 2 guys who I've debated with who have beat me, and I've said, you know what? You're right, in my life. And my dad's a lawyer, and I beat him every damn time. He calls me up. I'm sorry, you're right, I'm wrong. I don't think a lot of men love this. So I turn off the majority of men with this little spice, but I think I will attract the best 1%. It just hasn't happened yet, but just wait on.
Okay, let's get into it. In today's video, we're going to be discussing Little Miss Fiona. We're going to call her Exhibit A. Typical Western feminist, who for the rest of the video will be referred to as an feminist to keep me on the good side of YouTube's terms and conditions, as well as our algorithm. We're going to be discussing the mountain of red flags that a woman like this exhibits, so that for those of you who are still dating, interacting with women here in the West who haven't yet gotten your passports, you're going to know what to look out for, what to protect yourself from, and how best to navigate this labyrinth. So let's get started by running back through what she had to say. Roll the clip.
I think that most guys I know, most guys I've ever met in my life, would never want to date me. I know that they feel this way. I can just sense it.
Red flag number 1. This woman looks thin, perhaps even fit, and she most certainly checks off all the boxes for what at least are the European beauty standards. So why would a woman like that, from a physicality standpoint, not be able to get along with men? Well, you're going to find out that she's self-aware enough to know that she's the problem, but has no desire to change her behavior. What do we know about insanity, fellas? It's doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome.
I think that most guys I know are like, Fiona's cool, would never want to date her. I'm pretty hungover, but I'm going to explain with my one brain cell.
Red flag number 2. Having a glass of wine with dinner is okay. A couple shots with friends to celebrate something. Maybe a margarita on Taco Tuesday. But a woman who, by her own admission, drinks so much alcohol that she's hung over the next day is a woman who has an addictive personality. And the problem with that, fellas, is that an addictive personality has no impulse control. Bear in mind, she's already spilling her guts onto a Chinese Communist Party's app for the entire planet to see. A woman like this, who has an addictive personality, who drinks to excess, who parties to excess, is a woman who will absolutely devastate your future. Stay away at all costs.
Men often have opinions or say things that really don't make a lot of sense about politics, psychology, social culture, feminism. I often find myself disagreeing with men, and I simply cannot let them think that they're right. So I want to debate, I want to argue, I want to prove you wrong.
Red flag number 3. Fellas, this chick thinks she's alpha. That's the real problem here. She is purposely problematic. She's purposely confrontational. Somebody somewhere along her path to get here where she is now told her this crap is cute. And or she's met men who couldn't articulate their points properly. And or guys have let her be, quote, right just to sleep with her. Again, she meets almost all of the European beauty standards. So some guys will see her, hear her nonsense, and just go along to get along just to get his dick wet. Fellas, you have got to be the kind of man who understands that we invented politics, psychology, social culture. And as far as feminism is concerned, it is simply vaginal Marxism, a hypocritical failure of a belief system that cannot exist or survive anywhere that doesn't have air conditioning, running water that's safe to drink, and flush toilets. Gentlemen, do not allow yourselves to fall victim to an agitator like this. It doesn't matter how attractive she is or how attractive you may find her. If she's purposely problematic, she has no place in your life. Steer clear of these kind of women, fellas. Preserve your peace.
And I bring sometimes an aggressiveness to my debate style. No, you know what it is? It's a confidence to my debate style.
Red flag number 4. What you pretend, Miss Fiona, you who have the stench of I've been to college all over her. What you pretend is confidence is in fact you being an obnoxious little shit trapped in an adult's body, along with a healthy dose of braggadocio. For my Italian friends out there, is fake confidence. The kind of arrogance that can only come from someone who talks often, who talks loudly, but says absolutely nothing worth listening to. And you think far too highly of yourself and you have any business.
I know 2 guys who I've debated with who have beat me, and I've said, you know what? You're right. In my life.
Red flag number 5. Fellas, how old do you think this chick is? Early, mid-20s maybe? What's more likely? That only one man per decade of her life has had a better point to bring to the table in a conversation than her? Or that most guys prefer, well, A, peace over problems, B, her orbiters, because trust me, a woman who looks like this, you know she's got plenty. And an Instagram full of bikini pics and yoga pants shots. You already know most men would rather eat glass and crawl butt naked across thumbtacks than argue with a woman who simply is arguing just to hear herself talk. And most guys have a million things they'd rather do. This sanctimonious asshole dares to say, with a live camera in her face, that only 2 men in her life have presented a better point of view than hers? That's 93 octane, bruh. That's JP5 jet fuel level gas.
And my dad's a lawyer, and I beat him every damn time. He calls me up. I'm sorry, you're right, I'm wrong.
Red flag number 6. Let's just call a spade a spade. Your father's a simp, and chances are you're an only child. Maybe you were one of those pageant queens, maybe you did ballet or gymnastics, which nothing's wrong with pageants or ballet or gymnastics per se, but I got everything I wanted, maybe even a pony while you were growing up. And for your father to be an attorney, to call you and grovel and capitulate, tells me, number 1, I don't ever want to hire him. He's a shitty litigator. And secondly, that you learned, probably from your mother, how to emasculate a man, beat him down to nothing, and leave a husk behind to where everything is, yes, dear, whatever you say, dear, or in your case, yes, honey, yes, princess. Fuck all that. Your father is your father, and he's a sorry excuse for a man to have raised you. Fellas, listen, if you love your daughters, don't send them to college. This is a commercial for getting your daughter education anywhere but there. Send her to culinary school, send her to cosmetology school, something. Do not send her to one of these communist re-education camps. They're going to charge you the cost of a Honda Accord fully loaded for 4 times in a row for a piece of paper she may or may not get the career she always wanted after she's done. Oh my God, man.
I don't think a lot of men love this. So I turn off the majority of men with this little spice, but I think I will attract the best 1%. It just hasn't happened yet, but just wait on.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
You can't make this shit up. Which leads us to red flag number 7. The flagrant delusion of a woman like this. To think that she and a man that she wants are in the same boat or traveling in the same lanes. It's embarrassing. All she has to do at this stage in her life is paint a face on top of her face, put on the right outfit, do her hair the right way, and she can just coast through life right up until she smashes face first into that wall. But before then, guys are coming to her, flocking to her, blowing her DMs up. But the guy she wants, that top shelf, top tier 10, top 5, top 1% of guys, they have worked their entire life unless they came from money at a trust fund. But most guys, most millionaires, according to the IRS, are new money. They're not trust fund millionaires or billionaires. These guys are brand new to the money game. You don't work that hard to make that kind of money, to put that kind of time in at the gym, to learn game, to learn how to keep your frame drum tight. To deal with a chick like this, who wants to destroy everything you work so hard for, including your peace of mind, because she wants to argue just to prove she can. All the guys out there making it happen, grinding away at life's trials and tribulations, overcoming life's obstacles, to build something out of themselves, to be somebody. And for what? To come home to this nagging piece of shit?
Newsflash, douchebag!
No thanks. There's nothing you could offer a high-value man to make him put up with this bullshit. The sad thing is, fellas, there's a higher than 80% chance this chick will one day wear a wedding dress. There's gonna be a guy who has not seen this video. He ain't subscribed to the channel. He's gonna meet her at a bar or at a country club or wherever she's hanging out at. And she's gonna play the role. She's gonna play the role convincingly enough to where he'll fall for it. And she won't let off the gas until he puts a ring on her finger and signs his name on that dotted line. At which point, she'll probably hop out a couple kids. At that point, he's stuck like Chuck. It's gonna be over with for him. She's gonna toss him into the wood chipper of the family court system, all the way to the cash payout window. Sad. Some simp who has no idea what he's getting himself into is gonna marry this thing, and she's gonna make his life miserable. And I pray he doesn't off himself at the end of it all once she's done. You can't trust these, man. And if you don't have your passport yet, you are wasting valuable time. That's about all I can take for one day, fellas. That's my time. Like the video? Comment down below. Share with a friend, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Never let your brother suffer in silence when the truth could set him free. Networkers, we working. Until next time.